What is going on, you guys? Alejandro here, and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we are going to be reworking old roads from the very first episode and so on. But before we get started, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit that bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a brand new episode. Let's get started. So, you might have seen from the thumbnail or from the preview of this episode, like the opening cinematics, that I changed a lot of things because yes, we've built this in the first episode, and during the first episode we were still figuring things out. We were still figuring out what the series was gonna be. I mean, I had a plan that this was gonna be like a Southeast Asian inspired city, but it was a mess of things. I was like, it was a jumble of ideas, and hopefully now we got a lore that we are sticking on. Magayon is a Cities Skylines Series loosely inspired by Southeast Asian cities set on a 2030s of the Philippines that was never colonized. So that is the gist of it. That's the gist. We're set in the near future of the Philippines that was never colonized, and we're taking a lot of inspiration from various different places. But yeah, with that being said, you'd see me place this new bridge here because the old bridge was a little bit too big, and 34 episodes in the series, we have found the scale of the city. I have found I know the scale of the city now, so I noticed that the bridge was a little bit too big, and the road network. The first episode was such a huge mess. The first few episodes were so many nodes, so many weird things, so many detail that was kind of useless. You guys won't even see them, and they would just lag the game up. So we're going to be cleaning up a lot of like old builds. We're going to be cleaning up interchanges. The highway network on this side is going to be fixed, and this road, that bridge right there, I tried like making it like 4 bridges, but it just didn't cut it. It looked too ugly. So yeah, I just kept it in and made it into 2 bridges, and I was quite satisfied with that. And yeah, now I'm changing the road network, changing the road because it was like 4 lanes on each side, and under it were 2 lanes of high-speed rail, and I think that was a little bit too overkill. And those 4-lane roads were like compact, and I've watched a lot of like highway videos, especially like the slopes, how wide they should be, why highways are designed like that, and I realized that they still have to have like a shoulder, so that if ever something happens, or if a car breaks down in the middle of the bridge, they would have a place to stop. So that lacked here. You can see I'm placing this is still the 4-lane road with a high-speed rail in the middle. I will be changing the high-speed rail system with the city soon, but this is what I have for now. You can just basically upgrade it. But yeah, this bridge is a little bit lower than the old one, so we're going to be doing some adjustments once we do here, once we develop the Outlands or something, the Badlands. I don't know. It's inspired by San Francisco across the Golden Gate Bridge. Yes, we're going to be doing that. And I am changing the direction of this highway. This highway will no longer cut through this part of the city, because before there was this highway crossing over the residential area, an elevated highway, and you guys said that would not be a nice place to live in, and I was like, oh yeah, it kind of is. I mean, it really is not a nice place to live in, living beside an elevated highway. I've watched Road Guide Jim. He has a lot of videos. I think it's Road Guy Jim. I'll leave a link of his channel down below. I watched a lot of his videos. Nice, very nice. I learned a lot about highways and roads, about traffic lights, all this and all that. And yeah, you now see me change the road into a 2-laned road with a shoulder. This is just the basic vanilla road because we don't have to be customized and all that. I mean, sometimes the vanilla assets work. So if it works, let it be. And you see those like pillars on the center, and they just won't be seen, so I just remove them later on. And speaking of removing, we are removing this interchange here, which causes a lot of noise, and it's not serving any purpose whatsoever because we have this. We're gonna reroute this highway. We're just gonna change it later on. You'll see what we do with that highway, but now we are going to be reconnecting it to the boulevard, the Magayon Boulevard. Now this elevated highway will split into the Magayon Boulevard and into an elevated expressway, like inspired by the Skyway in Manila, so that people who want to go through the city would not be stuck in the traffic along the Magayon Boulevard, because the boulevard has traffic lights and the Skyway won't have any. It would be a smooth travel through the city, going straight through, instead of going around the city through the circumferential road, the outer ring of the city, because we have an inner ring and we have an outer ring. We have the road, the boulevard going across the waterfront. Then we have an inner ring, which is inspired by EDSA, it's kind of like a highway, but it has traffic lights. And we have the dedicated outer ring, which is going to be, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have like interchanges there, so I'm quite excited to build on those places. And yeah, it's going to be like a literal highway, like highway follows highway designs and all this and all that. And yeah, this is the connection. I reroute the connection. I think this is much more realistic, but the connections that we have, yeah, this one is a little bit too close with each other, and the height difference is, I just fixed it by extending where the ramps go in and go out of the highway. Just good curving right there beside the river. And yeah, I think we're gonna have some farmlands here across the river, because this is kind of like outside of the city, very far away. It's kind of like provincial type of thing. But yeah, the connections here are, this is gonna stay, but some of them are temporary, like this one I just extended the roads because I still don't have any plans for this. But what's important is that we connect these things together. I'm just extending them straight through without anything, because this is generally a very flat land. And if you've seen in the past episodes that every time we build something, we change the things around them to make it feel like it was built around them rather than them following what was built there, if you get what I mean. Now we changed the highway, the location. Instead of going very steep into the city, it just goes into the outer ring, the outer crest, right? Because it's just a half ring. And now we're doing this highway here. This is not a highway. This used to be the highway, but I changed it into just a wide 4-lane road. And it's gonna be a tolled road, because we will still have access into the bridge, but this will only serve people living here in this town, which still has no name. This is inspired by Legazpi City, by the way, Embarcadero and all that kind of stuff. If you want to watch the bill, here it is. But I just changed that road and I connected it with a radiating road from another important city center which we're going to be building in later on in the series. But if you want to build it early on, you can hit me up. It's gonna look like BGC in the Philippines. If Filipino people out there, it's a very modern place with a lot of walkable areas built. It's an old American fort, reconfigured into commercial and residential and office, a new city center for the gig. Yes. So I've just rerouted the train lines. Actually, the train lines are now connected. Like, there is an actual train going through the map, and there are actually trains going through the city. So here's a little picture of that. We're overcrowded train station. Yes. And now what I'm doing here is this is a temporary connection, because I didn't want to take too much time, because I want to have a dedicated episode to this. I don't know which type of intersection would be perfect here, but I'm thinking of a four-way stacked interchange or 4-level stacked interchange. We'll see. But this intersection right here is handling traffic quite well. It's not clogging, because nobody is really on those roads that much. But I'm removing the trees, the props, because I'm cleaning up, because this place is super laggy. And in later refurbishments or reworkings of the episode, we're going to be removing a lot more. Like, Bayview needs rework. It has a lot of nodes, it needs to be denodified, or it has to be denoded. I don't know. It has to be denodeless. I don't know. We're just gonna decrease the amount of nodes and the detail there, because those are really not that necessary, because it's not that an important part of the city. The important parts of the city are the Capitol buildings and the park and like central train stations, like hospitals, like main buildings like that. Those must have a lot more detail. And also the buildings like the waterfront park, we're going to be fixing that because it has a lot of detail and it is really not, it's very laggy there. And now with the detailing, refurbishment, reworking tangent done, that you just saw me change the direction of that road. Now that road goes just straight downhill, straight through, but I was watching 5B1C, 5 Builders 1 City series. I don't know who. It was just on a playlist, and I was listening to it while I was building, while I was playing Cities Skylines, and I heard that he wants to keep it at a 6% slope, and I was like, oh my god, this slope here is too much. I mean, people want to go uphill, wouldn't want to like use all their energy, and this is like connected to a highway, so you wouldn't want that highway, the people using the highway, to already make like a San Francisco-ish. But yeah, this is inspired by San Francisco, but you know, I wanted to make it gentler, and I want to give the city a little bit more organic movement rather than very strict to the grid, which is what the capital is. But once we expand, that grid becomes a little bit looser. And yeah, now we're doing the connection to the bridge. Now this bridge will be once again tolled, but we're gonna have like a bigger toll booth downhill. But here we have an interchange. It's a basic interchange, a T interchange with a traffic light, a T junction with a traffic light. Yes, because I don't want to have too much layers here, and this is just a very low traffic area, so this is quite fine for that. And yeah, this is also gonna have a toll booth later on, because this actually had a toll booth, but that toll booth sucked because I didn't know how to do things, and node controller still wasn't even a thing. So I'm so thankful that we have node controller now, and all the amazing mods that make this game just a little bit more special. And yeah, which is integral to how I play the game now. And a lot of you guys have been asking whether or not all my builds are just for aesthetics. I mean, the city's focused on aesthetics first and the lore, but I also play the game. Like literally, I've just after the last few episodes, the population grew because I fixed the trash issues, because I downloaded a mod that removes death and trash, and I was like, oh my god, the population jumped up to 10,000. Literally, no joke. It went from 1,000 to 10,000 in like, I have a graph, but I don't have the picture of it. But it was like in Cities Skylines, it just took a year. Cities Skylines, and it was like, oh my god. And a lot of tourists everywhere. Here are some pictures of that. Yes. Oh my god. Okay, so now I'm doing this interchange intersection right here, and I'm going to be, fixing it up, making it look clean, making it look nice, using node controller to smoothen out things. And yeah, I'm also going to be building up this area later on in the future. It's gonna be a park, so like a nature reserve, I guess. So that like under thing of the bridge, we're gonna do some covering of that partial. Yes, sunken highway ? Maybe. So, but yeah, we're gonna be redoing this park. This is Kapuntukan Hill. This is like a viewing deck for the bridge, because this bridge is so iconic. People want to see it all the time, or whatever. And now just placing down these procedural objects. I mean, these are like cliffs or rocks, giant rocks with moss, because I don't want to see those like dark cliff surfaces. I use those dark cliff surfaces because the volcano is like almost violetish in real life, and the old texture was still green, but the volcano is not green, so I changed the clips to darker brown. And I'm just adding in these trees right here to make it look, amazing, to make it look clean, to make it look nice, because it has to have like tons of trees actually at the bottom, and when you reach top, it's just more smoother grass. I actually had a lot of grass details here, but yeah, nobody would actually see that often, so I just removed them and just placed light bushery around to still have a lot of FPS. And yeah, now we're doing intersection marking, just basic. I don't know if am I delayed with my voiceover. I don't know. So basically we're doing some lane markings, the basic things, all this, all that. And yeah, I'm also extending this grass through all across the entire like access road. This is like a highway access road, a tolled access road. We have a lot of greenery here because I want to preserve the greenery, because this is like kind of a forest. Just imagine this is like a forest, because in the Philippines we have a lot of trees, and sadly I can't recreate that amount of foliage in City Skylines without sacrificing FPS. So we're using low poly trees mixed with high quality trees, laser on into detailing to, give it a vibe. And yeah, this another basic intersection marking. I love making some intersection markings, especially when I do the curbs. And there has been a new update with the intersection marking tool that allows you to add curbs on fillers of grass or whatever you want, and you can smoothen the curves on those curbs. Yes, amazing. I'm gonna be reworking some intersections in the future, but that's still in the future. They're still serving their purpose. So now I'm doing these wall retainer, yes, protection, and I'm gonna be layering them on top of each other like this one, because it's a little bit steeper here, and I don't want to just smoothen it out, because I want to make it look like this is like built like purposefully to be built, like to not obstruct the hill. So yeah, I'm just gonna add like trees around it, and I want to preserve this place. I want to make it like kind of a nature reserve, one of the city's nature reserves, like the one we have beside Salin, which has like where the old city is, like ruins. Let's just imagine that it's very expansive before you reach the walled city, like the old ruined city, but it's actually just behind the mountain by the river. So yeah, future. If you want to be, up to date with the future, like the plans, because in the next episode, and in the following episodes, we're going to be building an Olympic stadium, an Olympic complex inspired by previous Olympic complexes and some sports complexes around the world. Singapore, London, Chicago, I don't know. We'll see. You'll see. But if you want to be part of that process, we've been talking about it actively on Twitter, as we actually watched the opening ceremony of the games, and we were like, chatting about that. But yeah, sadly there were no audiences during those games, during the event, but at least some of the athletes were able to represent their country in the opening parade, and it was kind of fun. I actually wasted 2 hours of my time. I didn't waste it. I used up 2 hours of my time just watching the opening ceremony and the parade. Yeah, it was kind of fun. But yeah, if only the pandemic didn't happen. Tokyo Olympics, amazing. But yeah, it wasn't amazing from the get-go, because there were like financial issues, especially with the budget, and the Olympic as a whole being a little bit controversial, with the budget being always over budget. And for the past, few Olympics, like Rio, Athens, London on the other hand is kind of like good. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that in the later episodes. If you guys want to be part of that, you can join the community Discord. The link is down below. And yeah, now I'm just redoing this part right here, removing the notes and just changing them with decals, because it is what it is. We don't need that many detail right there, because we don't really need that many detail, because you're not going to be walking around here. These are just homes. This is not like a tourist destination like the capital city. So yeah, I'm also adding the final touches, because I was supposed to be building the Olympic Stadium, as I've said, but I was planning. I didn't know where to put it. I didn't know how to put it. I was having issues with the assets. I didn't know what to do. So that's why I just built this. I need a filler episode for this week, Saturday, Friday or something, and the Olympic Stadium is coming up very soon. I'm still planning. I'm on the planning process, so just expect filler episodes before I have like big episodes come up, because that's essentially what it is. And yeah, I guess we're almost nearing the end of the episode. I'm just gonna be doing some busheries later on. So if you want to see more like videos and you want to support this channel even more, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Calejandro and become an official citizen of Magayon. Get early access to my content and exclusive content as well. And yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Junaid, my new patron, for supporting, and also CJ Newton. I'll be giving shout outs and your name might also be in the credits depending on your tier on Patreon. But if you can't, that's okay. You can still subscribe to this channel and give it a big thumbs up and turn on the bell notifications so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. Comment down below what you want to see next. And if you want to see like previous pictures, like close-up sneak peeks of the city, you can also follow me on Instagram. That's instagram.com/Calejandro, and you'd see Magayon from above, from the ground, from wherever you may be around. Rhyming. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the music to end because, you know, the production and all that kind of stuff. I was a little bit early. Yeah, a lot of greenery here, a lot of greenery there. It's quite amazing. I was in first person for like 3 hours, just driving around the city, walking around. If you guys want to see like a first person tour, maybe on episode 40 or 50, a special episode where I do a city tour, yeah, hit me up in the comments. And the screen is getting dark. This is Calejandro signing off. Bye.